You're about to hear the most raw and shocking story we've ever told on this podcast. Guys, everyone knows who Jordan Bown is. If you've ever looked up the word dropshipping, you've seen this guy's face. And yes, that says 1.3 million views in a month. Jordan has absolutely exploded on the internet since I met him in Spain last summer. I'm willing to bet an Instagram short of this guy's face has popped up on your feed lately, and people all over the world are looking to him for free content on how to make millions of dollars with dropshipping. He literally has over 500,000 people in his free course right now. Insanity. But what the world doesn't know, what they've never heard, is the dark reality of Jordan's past.
And she was wrapped around a telephone pole.
Because I have never heard a story like this. We're not talking lower middle class, semi-tough upbringing. We're talking mom in a coma, brother died in front of him level stuff. And for today's podcast, I got Jordan, a 26-year-old who parlayed all of that into over $10 million of profit this year to reveal it all for the first time. So look, if you've ever felt down and out, if you're going through a hard time and looking for the light, if you want to know how to turn life's darkest times into a reality most only dream of, be sure you watch this one front to back. Because not only did I get Jordan to share his full story for the first time,
we sat and waited there for 2 hours, not knowing if she's dead, not knowing what's going on.
But I also got him to explain exactly how he used the internet and a little business called dropshipping to turn his personal hell into more money than most people see in their entire lives. So guys, make sure you subscribe to the channel for more crazy podcasts like this one. And if you want access to the biggest and most proven crypto trading group on the internet before this next bull market starts and you fumble the chance again, DM me access on Instagram. Anyways, let's get into it. Jordan, you've been through some dark times and seen bigger challenges than almost anyone else that I've met in this space. And what's really interesting is you've almost never told your story online. And what's even crazier is that today you are making millions of dollars from your laptop and doing it all from home, pretty isolated out here in Utah. So it's crazy to me that you did all of this with nothing but an internet connection and an idea. And today I want to do something which I've never seen you do before, which is really break down and tell your story and tell our audience where you came from, because I want anyone watching this video who might be going through hard times, who might be struggling, to understand just how down and out you can be and how you can turn that into an incredible success. So the first thing I want to do is just dive into your story a little bit. So where are you from? How'd you grow up?
So I'm from Utah, born and raised, never left, still living at the mom's house, honestly. I'm 26 years old, got into dropshipping around 2016. I even started a YouTube channel back then, and I was posting daily YouTube videos for like 3 months. Ended up deleting them because I got like no views. But I bounced around between a lot of different side hustles. I tried a social media marketing agency from Ty Lopez's course. Tried basically everything, and dropshipping was the thing that really stuck for me.
Did you come from money?
No. I kind of saw both sides. My family was pretty much the definition of middle class most of my life growing up. Around 2000, probably 5, my mom got into real estate, and that went absolutely amazing. I mean, you know, the time period. There was a point where she made, I think it was like over $300,000 in a month. So lifestyle absolutely exploded. A lot of crazy shit happened. Eventually she got in a horrible accident. I think in medical bills alone, I think we were at like $4 million in debt just from her accident. So then it got to the point where we're living off the church basically, and the government, getting like family support and stuff. So definitely saw the highs and lows of both.
How old were you at this time whenever your mom got into the accident?
Mom's accident was 7th grade summer, so 12, 13.
And it was serious?
Yeah, it was really bad. It was in Hawaii.
In Hawaii?
Mm-hmm.
And you were living off of, at this time as well, you said, off of the church? They were like bringing you guys
Mormons.
food?
Yeah.
So your parents were in real estate. Were they like heavily affected by the big crash that happened?
Yeah, that was definitely another big factor in it. My dad had a pretty chill job, pretty stable income. They did divorce in 5th grade though, so they were already split by the time the accident happened. So yeah, mom's income dropped heavily. My stepdad came into the picture, which is a big character we can get into. He turned the tables a lot. And he was introduced probably around 6th grade. And then my mom's accident was 7th grade. So that's when things went like crazy downhill.
Like very south. So
Yeah.
like can we talk about this?
Yeah,
like,
of course.
Your story in more detail. So like what was this situation? Was your mother hospitalized? Were you living with your stepdad? Sort of no money on the table? Like I want to really paint the picture here.
So to break down the accident, my stepdad was already in the picture, alcoholic, abusive, like pretty much as worse as it gets. So things were already getting really rough. I just went through the divorce with my parents, and I was kind of like, I was super big mama's boy, like very close to my mom. So I was kind of like her support system through the divorce. So that was already a little heavy. Stepdad made things crazy heavy. And then the accident in Hawaii, it was a moped accident. We were going from Waikiki on Oahu all the way to North Shore. It's probably kind of a dumb idea.
Beautiful drive though.
Yeah, beautiful drive. And we're all really experienced. Like we grew up riding motorcycles and shit, so we were all pretty fine in the mopeds. My mom had a slower one, so we were like, hey, like go to the front so we can at least like make sure you're fine. She didn't want to for some reason. I was like 12, 13, so I was riding on the back of my stepdad's. And we turned a couple corners, and I'd say we waited like 2 minutes, and my brother and my mom just never showed up. And he's like, I got a bad feeling. And we turned around, and it was intense. It was really intense. We think a bus veered her off the road. I remember pulling up vividly. A bus was doing a U-turn on like a really tight Hawaii back road. So like you can see him doing a U-turn. And she was wrapped around a telephone pole and ended up breaking, I think it was over 47 bones. Her legs were absolutely mangled. Like it was like seeing a zombie in real life, honestly. Like it was extreme. I remember vividly people like kind of grabbing me and kind of taking me away from her. And I remember some girl was saying like, your sister's going to be okay. Your sister's going to be okay. For some reason, I vividly remember that.
I think it's my mom.
Yeah, I was like, that's my mom. It probably took 15 minutes for the ambulance to get there. My brother was the first responder. So we got there. His shirt was ripped off supporting her head. So he was 16. So he's a little older. This is a little more serious for him. So it was extremely rough on him.
And how old were you at the time?
I think 12.
Crazy
probably,
thing to see.
Maybe 13. It was really rough. Ambulance comes. My stepdad goes with them in the ambulance, and me and my brother just sitting there. And the cops are like, "Do you guys want to ride to the hospital?" We're like, "Yeah." We're like, we just sat there forever, and then they said that some high up officer had to come ask us some questions. It was all really sketchy. Apparently the legal structure in Hawaii is a little fishy. I don't know what they did. They made us like run up to some mile marker. They're like, hey, go check what mile marker we're at. So we ran away. They did something. We sat and waited there for 2 hours, not knowing if she's dead, not knowing what's going on.
Crazy.
We eventually get to the hospital, and I think her heart stopped for a second in surgery, but she was fine. The legs were the real problem. Shattered both femurs, just everything, hips, all gone, like in pieces. So we were stuck in Hawaii for 2 months, just kind of sitting and waiting. They were telling us to pull the plug every day. We were taking the bus with all the crazy homeless people.
They told you to pull the plug. Like so you're
They're
12.
like, yeah, she's not going to.
You're 12, and they're like, pull the plug on your mom who's on life support right now.
Yeah.
And how long was she in the hospital?
2 months in Hawaii alone. Then we had to pay for her to be on a commercial flight to be flown back to Utah. Utah has a great healthcare system, hospital. Like it's actually very prestigious.
Wait,
here.
how did she fly home?
Literally on a fucking commercial flight, dude.
What?
Yeah.
Like hooked up to everything?
In a coma. Fully out.
So she was in a coma this whole time. Okay.
They have certain commercial flights where I think it's like the first class is like cut out for a hospital bed. Just chilling on a flight.
So you brought her back to Utah, and what, she was rehospitalized here?
Yeah, and thankfully one of the doctors here had a lot of faith in her being able to make a recovery. But she's like a miracle case study in Utah. There's been books written about her, and we were on the Today Show when I was in middle school to talk about her recovery story.
Because she made it out, right? She made a full recovery after she came to Utah?
If you met her right now, you'd never know. And she was supposed to be a vegetable. She was supposed to not make it. Like it was It was nuts. I'll try to throw some clips your way of like me on the Today Show and shit, and we can have
Crazy.
those pop up. But
yeah, no,
it's fucking insane.
They will probably be on screen right now.
Sure, yeah.
So you're 12 years old. Your mom is in a coma, hospitalized. They're telling you to pull her off of life support. You also mentioned earlier that your relationship with your stepdad at the time was awful. So what was life like for you at this point? Were you depressed? Were you like, how did you feel?
I grew up as a child just extremely anxious. Like I'd have soccer games, like I'm throwing up before the soccer game at like 6 years old. Like there was just something in me that was very like impulsive negative thoughts that I just couldn't get rid of. That was just something I struggled with when I was young for some reason. So I think that definitely, I mean, the knob got turned on that extremely hard. Things were manageable though. My dad is amazing. Like my dad is like pristine father. He like, even while we were in Hawaii, he took time off work, flew out and visited us twice. Just coming, making sure we're okay, which he does not have the money for that shit. Like he dropped everything for us. We fully moved in with him. Like it's not like we're gonna be with our fucking stepdad. So I remember he wasn't doing too good from the divorce with my mom too. So he was living with his mom. So we're all packed in my grandma's house, and he'd make me fucking pancakes and bacon every morning at like 4 a.m. before school. So we had a good breakfast. And then we'd have to drive like an hour and a half to school because I didn't want to switch middle schools because we moved so far away to be at my grandma's. So, dude, he dropped everything for us. Like everything.
Amazing, dude. I told you whenever we spoke the other day that I wanted to shoot this podcast with you because there are always all these sort of clickbaity thumbnails and titles like, oh, how this or that saved my life. But like drop shipping literally basically saved your entire family and changed the trajectory of your life, which is insane to me that you went through all of this and then somehow with an internet connection from the middle of out here, figured out how to rewrite your entire story and become quite literally the hero of your family. So all of this that you just told me happened when you were 12 years old. What happened between then and whenever you decided, hey, I want to try and figure out how to start this e-com thing and start making money online?
Well, there's even honestly more family trauma stuff that happened afterwards.
Okay, let's talk about it.
My brother got into hard drugs, and I was like the main support system for him through that because, I mean, my mom can't handle stress from everything she's been through. So a lot of that was put on my shoulders, like basically like making sure he doesn't kill himself every single day, like having panic attacks in high school. I'd literally just walk home. Got into substance abuse myself, nothing too crazy, but
I didn't know that.
It was just smoking, drinking way too much. It wasn't anything serious at all.
When you were pretty young, though?
This was high school.
Okay.
And it got to the point where my brother actually died and was resuscitated in front of me.
So 2 of your family members?
Yeah.
What?
Yeah, my brother, he got into pills a lot. He randomly went over to our neighbor's house, and she had like some massage bed, some shit. He was using that. And I woke up from a nap, and my mom's just screaming, he's not waking up, he's not waking up. I'm like pouring a bowl of cereal. Like I'm like half asleep. I have no clue what's going on. Run over to the neighbor's house, and he's just purple on the floor. And I remember looking at my mom, and I was like he's gonna die. Like our life is this shit. Like I know he's gonna die. And I couldn't even do like CPR on him. Like I was so just like, my life is so hell. Like there's just like nothing I can change. And that was harder than the accident, I think, for me.
And how did he make it out?
Narcan.
Ambulance came?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Narcan saved his life. Man, that one was rough. Because me and my brother are like the only people that like get each other because we've been through so much together. That one was really crazy.
That is insane. You have truly like one of the most challenging stories I've ever heard from anybody that I've ever met in my entire life. Like a truly dark and traumatic upbringing.
Yeah, it was heavy. And then like even after he's alive, it's still like the recovery process for him and supporting him through that. And it's like that was a nightmare itself too. And yeah, a lot of rehab stuff, a lot of just like carrying all the emotional weight, all the burdens of my whole family, it felt like was on me. And I'm sure everyone kind of feels like that. But
do you still feel that way?
Yeah, for sure. We're at the point now where I just retired my mom fully. Like I still live with my mom, but I'm paying the mortgage. She has a card she can go spend whatever she wants on, which she's still extremely hesitant to even do. I have to like convince her to go spend money on it. But yeah, things have came full circle, and I'm honestly like incredibly grateful for the negative times, because it's like if I see so many people that grew up with money, grew up with perfect situations, and it's like it's a very stale existence. It's very everything's just comfortable, and I think you as a man you're really built in those dark times, those hard times. And I truly, if I had to, I would go relive all of that just to be where I'm at today with the experience, the understanding. It's incredibly valuable. So like anyone that's going through, like I remember looking at my mom and talking with her and like saying like, I can't see the light anymore. Like this is like the darkest shit. There's like nothing, like I would never be suicidal, absolutely ever. It's just, it's not, I could never do that. But I remember like fully understanding like this is why people do it. Like it completely made sense to me. Like I remember a period with no light, and that's something I'd always tell my brother. I was like, I know you don't see the light, but like I see that, so like follow me and let me help you see that light again. Like that was a big thing I'd always tell him in his dark times. So anyone that's going through some dark shit, like I don't know, you just have to keep moving forward, and things do work themselves out, and there is a purpose behind what you're going through. Always. Like you're always going to be grateful for any hardship you ever went through. And I think if you can have that attitude, it's also going to cut the time of how shitty your experience is.
Yeah, I'm sorry, man. I can see the emotion written all over your face, and I'm not trying to.
Yeah,
but
was crazy shit.
But I think it's really important that people hear this.
Yeah,
because
I agree.
You were like the epitome of a comeback story. Because
it was
after
a full circle moment.
Yeah, because after all of that, you did retire your mother, and you take care of her. You take care of your whole family, as a matter of fact. I know about you that the reason why you still live at home is certainly not because you can't afford to move out.
Yeah.
But because, like I said earlier, you've gone on a hero's journey, and you've become the caretaker of your entire family because of an idea that you had, and an ambition that you had, and a Wi-Fi connection.
Yep.
Right? Do you think that all of those dark times that you went through were the inspiration for you to sit down and say, okay, I have to be the one to pull my family unit out of this?
For sure. I don't know if consciously when I was younger, I knew that that's exactly what I'm doing. But like looking back and seeing the full picture, like that was definitely the purpose, the thing that drove me, the thing that was behind my mind at all times. But I mean, when you first, like, you just want to make money.
Yeah.
You're just a young kid, you want to make money.
Yeah.
But I think there was that deeper layer that I didn't realize until later in the journey.
So how did that phase of the journey start for you?
Like the first phase of trying to like the 0 to 1.
Turn it around, yeah.
So I was working at Red Robin, which was fucking awful, bro.
Let's go.
Busting at Red Robin. Genuinely, like, because I just went through so much, on weekends, I'd be having panic attacks in the back room. Like, I'd literally call my dad. I'm like, I can't fucking do this. Like, just the energy of restaurant work, too, is fucking awful.
Yeah,
Everyone's on their cigarette breaks, complaining, bitching. It's
on drugs, too.
God-awful,
yeah.
So Red Robin was awful. Worked there for like a year and a half, but it really did teach me a lot of work ethic. That's something my father also instilled in me extremely deeply. He you could put him in any situation, he'd just figure it out. So, and his work ethic, he's just a very honorable man. So a lot of those things were instilled into me. Red Robin was rough. I also did door-to-door sales, which was actually great. I feel like that, like anyone who's watching right now, if you can get in a sales position, earlier the better. Like, you're going to learn how to communicate. You're going to learn how money functions. There's really no downsides. You're going to get out of your comfort zone. You're going to quit being scared. You're going to learn how to speak to people, how to handle objections. You're going to learn so much about psychology, so much about team building. Like, a lot of the stuff that I'm doing with teams now is shit that I remember from watching sales teams and stuff. So absolutely amazing. Even if you don't want to do sales, like, door to door will break you down in the most beautiful way. Like, door to door is great. So learned so much through that. I also sold life insurance for a while, which was something else, bro.
Yeah.
Absolutely something else. That was a funny time. But The main thing was I had $1,200 saved up. I dropped out of college. I also went to college free because my mom's accent, like all the grants. I was literally getting paid $400 each semester just to go to school. So I was like, cool, I'll take some religions classes, some fun bullshit classes. Knew that I wasn't going to actually stay there. Dropped out, had $1,200 to my name, spent $1,000 on Ty Lopez's social media marketing agency course, had $200 to my name, but that $200 is an amazing runway because I have no expenses. Like this whole experience, I didn't even have a car. Like my girlfriend at the time would drive me around. I remember there was a point I had literally 72 cents in my bank account.
Let's go.
I remember looking at it. I remember taking a picture of it.
Let's go.
I remember like, this is the moment. Like this is the lowest.
Yeah.
We're going to see how far we can go from that. But yeah, it was like $1,200 was my runway basically to start everything.
Right. And spoiler alert, the vehicle which really changed your life was dropshipping and e-com.
Yeah, of course.
So at this time in your life, like with very little money to your name, how did you get started in e-com?
So after doing social media marketing for a while, I realized like I'm just an employee for this guy. Meetings whenever he wants it, getting results for him. Hated that instantly. I had one client, did it for like 4 weeks and was done. Then came Amazon FBA, which actually went pretty well. I did it with a friend, Damon. We sunk probably $2,000 total into a product. It was, we called it the Bown beer bottle cooler. It was basically what's the best way to explain it? Like a glass beer bottle. It was an insulated hardcover you could put over it. So it'd keep it cold and like it wouldn't break if it fell or some shit. It was a great product, but it was seasonal. So we sold it in summer. We ended up doing like 10K in sales on that, which was great. I mean, like off our 2K investment, but then we didn't want to reinvest the money. Then I learned about drop shipping, probably just through seeing it on YouTube. And I was like, well, I already kind of learned these skills through the social media marketing agency. Now I'm just applying them to myself. The funny thing was I was running a streetwear Twitter account in high school. So in like the dark times, like high school was like, senior year was like pitch black for me, pitch black. Like I couldn't even make eye contact with people. Like my eyes would literally water. Like I was so just insecure and just fucking broken. But in that time period, I loved the whole streetwear, Yeezy, Off-White shit. I loved it. So I made a Twitter account for fun. Some guy just like totally backpacked me through the whole process. I DM'd him. I was like, dude, I love your account. I want to make one. What should I do? He's like, pay me $100. I'll repost your account every once in a while and I'll show you how to run it. Started running that, got up to like 40K followers on a Twitter account back in 2016, which was like really fucking high.
Yeah.
And we ran this thing called a tweet deck. So everyone that was in the fashion space, we all had our accounts connected so I could retweet my content with like 70 different accounts.
Yeah.
We had like a 16 million follower basis across, I think, 72 accounts. And like ASAP Mob would pay us, Ian Connor would pay us to retweet their fucking pictures and shit. I remember I posted a picture of ASAP Rocky and Ian Connor and he was like shrunk down to be like 2 feet. And he's like, bro, don't post that shit anymore. Like he was like starting to get mad at us for posting it. It was super funny. So that was my first real taste of like, okay, people are paying us to repost this. This is how content works and social media works. Then I discovered drop shipping and I'm like, I already have an audience of people. Like I'm just going to drop ship AliExpress clothes that fit with the narrative of fashion right now. And I did $1,000 a day, like for free, just reposting pictures on Twitter through the tweet deck.
Wow.
Crazy. So like instant success.
Wow. So like so you immediately had impressions and an audience to market to.
Instantly.
So did you continue that business? Like did you leverage this whole tweet deck to just start selling more and more products?
Yeah, the store was called Simple Selections. I wanted to make it like, hey, here's a simple layout of everything that's in right now. Dirt cheap, like probably a 2x markup. Wasn't making too much, but there's no marketing costs. So that was amazing. Probably ended up doing like 40K in sales in a couple months on that, which for me was like unbelievable. Then Twitter started dying, so I moved over to Instagram. I created a store that was the same shit, just on Instagram.
And what exactly were you selling?
Just fashion items.
Okay. Just clothes?
Yep. Just basic shit.
From AliExpress? Fear
of God lookalikes, Off-White lookalikes, making sure I was safe on copyright stuff, but clear knockoffs that are in the same style.
Okay.
But you can tell it's not. Like I'm not selling like an actual Off-White shirt.
Yeah. But the same. We've all seen these brands. And were these products from AliExpress or where were you getting them?
Yeah.
Okay.
All AliExpress. Yep.
So you moved to Instagram.
Moved to Instagram, and that was a huge success.
Okay.
Huge success. I naturally grew an account called Urbane Home, which is like urban man, fucking Italian or some shit. I don't even know. In French. And so created that account. I think we went from 0 to 150K in under a year, organic. We got some posts even to like 40,000 likes.
How?
Just paying for some shout outs occasionally.
Right. Well, I'm asking because I know there are people watching this video. They're like, how do I grow an audience? How did you do that? So
I took everything I learned from Twitter, which was a lot. I have great connections. I was really close with a guy who created 333 Half Evil, the clothing brand. He was in our tweet deck. He would purchase all the accounts. So if you ever wanted to sell an account, he'd be the guy that purchased it. So he had like a monopoly on everything, and he was able to start a brand that I think they've done $1 million days in sales because they just do drops like Supreme. So I learned a lot from like very high level dudes that are actually like into business in that space. So was easily able to apply that to Instagram. So I would find the biggest people that are running fashion accounts, and I would just get super close with them. Like I'd help them out any way they need it. Kind of treat them as like mentors, pay them if they ever needed anything for reposts. I think it was like $100 for a repost. I'd probably do like 3 of those a month, and then just find really good images that I knew would resonate with the audience. So I think something that I've done good throughout my whole journey is being able to understand product and audience fit. That's something I feel like I've really gotten. So my content always hit a little bit different, and I always, like, my page was very well curated, and I'd spend a lot of time on it. So that just grew very fast through a couple shout outs. We got on the Explore page a lot, which was massive. Sometimes 40,000 likes on posts, and they were ads. They were product posts for shit I was selling. It was funny. The best product we ever sold was a radio hunting vest. Like the ugliest, because people were into like tech wear. They were into these weird fashion vibes in like, I think it was probably 2018. We got the vest for like $18 and I sold them for 80. And we marketed everything like it was like high end shit. And I made, I think, like probably 1.5 million on that store in under a year.
So you're a random kid from rural United States who has gone through some shit in your life, and both of these first 2 big successes that you had, you weren't running ads, right?
No.
So you were literally just selling products to organically grown audiences, first on Twitter and first on Instagram. And it sounds like the key to you learning that skill was by meeting the right people who were able to teach you how to do that stuff. So my question is, like, when you were in this situation that you just described, how did you meet these people?
The Twitter thing, I'd say, is luck, genuinely. Because, like, this guy was literally just like, yeah, I got you. Just pure luck, honestly. When it came to Instagram, it was more just like, I already have some value, I already have some insight.
Yeah, so you could leverage that.
So you can leverage and kind of talk to the right people. Because I did have connections with, like, actually decent sized people at that point. So I wasn't just some random kid. But I think the biggest thing someone can take away who's trying to go from 0 to 1 is being observant of trends and human behavior. Because I think a lot of people forget that social media and views and content is human beings interacting. Like you get so used to just seeing numbers on a screen and algorithms, and you get like this robot approach of content. But if you understand, like, what do human beings want, what's trending right now, what's their psychology, what are they into, what are they thinking, and you can, like I was saying, get a product that has that perfect audience fit, everything's done for you basically. You just have to show up at that point because you're observant. So I think being observant of the marketplace and of people is probably the biggest asset you could have long term.
Yeah, it's really cool how quickly you were able to solve that. Let's talk about the fun stuff. I want to know how this changed your life. Like, when did you start actually making money from all of this?
I'd say 2018, 2019 was when the Instagram was really popping. Like, we were having like genuine celebrities DM me saying, I love the clothes.
Wait.
AliExpress clothes.
But how much money were you making from the Twitter before that?
The Twitter was probably 40K total.
Total? And how old were you?
18 probably.
Okay. And were you still with your mom at this time? Or
yeah.
No? Okay. So you're living at home in Utah here?
Yep.
Did you tell her?
Yeah, honestly, my parents, that's another great thing about my parents is like endless support. They're always like, you got this. Like, fuck yeah. Like, I remember a vivid call with my dad. I was like, I don't think I can keep doing insurance anymore. Like life insurance, like I need to start a business. I need to do something. He's like, do it. Please do it. Like you got this.
So they
Always
trusted you.
supported me.
They trusted
so much
you.
trust and support.
Do you think that they knew the same way that you sort of innately knew that it was going to be you?
I honestly think so. Because when I was young,
I think so too.
My parents would look at me and they're like, you're different. Like you're special. I was told that my entire life growing up from them. And that hit different. Like I actually felt that.
You know why
that's something I'm going to do with my kids for sure.
Yeah.
That shit was like magic, bro.
You know why that's important, dude, is because I know that there are people watching this video that have that innate feeling about themselves, but just don't have the confidence to actually try and do it. And that's what I want the key takeaway to be. But anyway, you made like $40,000 off of this Twitter account. Was
Nothing too crazy, but for the time it was amazing.
But was that the most money you'd ever seen at one time?
For sure.
How did that feel?
100%. It was nuts. I remember one of the first things I did is I flew to Italy to get my first tattoo.
Wait, with $40,000?
Yeah.
You flew
Flew to Italy.
Which
I always
one?
wanted to get a tattoo. It's huge on my knee. I'll try to show
Yeah.
The cameras will pick it up. But it was all hand done by a guy named Mirko Sada. He only does snakes. And I wanted like a little snake around my knee.
And he's
like, no, fuck that. That's going to look gay.
He is tatted.
There's a bit now.
But okay, so 40K, and then I'm gonna parlay this into the Instagram thing. Twitter's not going too crazy. How much money did you start making off that whenever you moved over to
Instagram was crazy. I think it was in December of 2018, so right when we were about to move into 2019, my biggest month on the Instagram organic was 2K.
Okay.
On November. December it was 76,000.
Holy shit. And how old were you at this time?
Probably 19.
Okay, 19. So this was still like 8 years ago.
Yeah, a minute ago.
Okay, so
probably 6 years ago.
So you did a 78K month at 19 years old.
Yep.
From your family's house. What did your mom say when you told her?
I don't know how openly I was about everything.
Yeah.
I think things were a little bit just like, yeah, they're going good. Like, I don't think I showed exact numbers.
Yeah.
I can't remember like a specific reaction.
Yeah.
But over time, like my parents have definitely been mind blown with. They're just like, what do you mean?
Well, it's fucking
What do you mean
insane.
6 figures? What do you mean?
If we showed them your statements right now, I'd be like, holy. So it's like how the journey evolved. So you were still 19 at this time, and so it's been like 8 years since then.
Yeah.
So did you get into like more traditional dropshipping e-com? Were you running ads? Did you keep running it up on Instagram?
So the big breakthrough was learning Facebook ads.
Okay.
In depth. That's where we hit the 76,000.
Okay.
Was I just started going crazy on paid ads.
Okay.
So I hit that naturally all by myself because it's December. It's the time to start trying paid ads. I remember I went and looked back at my ads from that point, and I think I was getting a 7 ROAS on everything.
Wow.
And I didn't even know what that meant. I was just like, this is great.
Oh, more money's coming in than I'm spending.
This is fantastic. But looking back, if I had the skill set I had now, I probably could have done a $500,000 month with my knowledge now because the ads had so much room to scale, but I just had no clue. So we were absolutely printing those radio vests like fucking crazy, dude.
But there's just such a large time gap between then and now. Have you spent the entire 7-8 years from then to now just growing dropshipping products and growing e-com stores?
Pretty much.
Wow. And how many different like winning products have you had?
So clothing was our big thing. That was the go-to. I also paid a mentor like $10,000 to work with me for the month. And he showed me some of his stores, and he was also doing clothes. So he was like, bro, set up your ads like this, scale them to the moon. So our entire process was we would test around 10 to 30 products a week of clothing items. We would have a $200 budget. There would be 3 ad sets. You'd have 2 interests, and then you would duplicate them for US, Europe, and worldwide. So we had this simple testing process, and you would just keep throwing products in. We started doing shoes, made a couple million off shoes, which was nuts. The Space Mesh sneaker, if you go look that up, that was like my big one. I think we did probably 1.5 million just on that product alone on Facebook ads. So clothing was like our bread and butter.
So when did your personal take home start to be like, okay, this is kind of crazy. Like I really, really figured something out.
Same time period. Yeah. Like 2019, 2020 was when things were getting insane.
Yeah. And it's
like 20K days in sales. It was nuts.
So what made you not want to do like the traditional e-com kit thing? It was like, oh, I'm gonna go get a Lambo, I'm gonna move my other stuff. Like, what's made you this entire time just stay so grounded, stay at home, take care of your family, play video games? I mean, I've seen your vlogs, dude.
Bro.
You just chill. Like,
yeah,
you just
chill extremely hard. Yeah, I don't know. I've never really like cared for lifestyle shit so much. Like, I do want to start traveling more, and I do want to start like networking more and meeting with cool guys like yourself. That's the big thing that actually excites me. But when it comes to buying like things, like I just had to make sure the family was okay. And I don't really have a crazy lifestyle. Like, I've always just been video game nerd. That was my coping mechanism, honestly, to not fucking shoot myself in the face over everything that happened. So yeah, it's just been video games, chilling, hanging out with my girlfriend, kicking with the friends on the occasion. I really like to work. That's another thing is like, when a massive trauma happens, and if you look at most hyper successful people, like they've all been to hell multiple times, and it's either you turn into drugs, you turn into insane negative lifestyles, it's like the bell curve, or you go into a workaholic, and progress is your drug. That's what it was for me. Like if I'm not expanding, if I'm not progressing, I'm going back to the hell mode that I used to live in, and I cannot do that. That's the thing that I think really rewired me, where it's like, I can't stop working, or I'm back to that. And that's what I think was the big motivation. Also, like taking care of the family and all that stuff. But trauma, I think, is an asset, a massive asset. Like people should be extremely grateful for everything that's ever happened to them, that's been extremely hard to go through, because the amount that you grow. There's a really good quote by Napoleon Hill. Can't remember it word for word, but I think it's, every failure has the seed of greater or equal success. So if I lost $1 million, that planted a seed of a lesson that's going to teach me how to make $1 million or how
more.
to make 10 times that. So every failure is like the best thing that's ever happened to you. Like, that's truly how I view it.
Yeah, and that's why I think your life is like this yin and yang of all of these terrible things happening while you're a child.
Big highs, big lows.
And now, just incredible progress and this huge personal brand that you've built, which I want to transition into. But on this topic, I want to ask you one more question, which is that if you were to talk to 15, 16-year-old Jordan, right, or any kid or any young or man or even woman or an adult, right, early 20s, 30s, doesn't matter, who's going through a really, really tough time and that wants to take advantage of this industry, of e-com, of dropshipping, the same one that you did, and you had to start from zero, what would you tell them?
The biggest thing is heal yourself first. Like if I didn't go to therapy, I don't think I'd be sitting here. I really don't. Like, there was too much weight. Like, in life, if you're trying to make $1 million, you're trying to climb a mountain.
Yeah.
And if you're wearing a backpack with 1,000 pounds of trauma, of depression, anxiety, substance abuse, you're not going to fucking make it.
Yeah.
You will not make it up the mountain. So you have to get rid of that weight. And it's eventually, you'll just be floating up the mountain if you've truly healed yourself. So I think that's the biggest thing is there's 4 things you need to really organize: your identity, your belief systems, your emotions, and your actions. If these can all be in alignment with one hyper-specific exact goal, you can literally accomplish anything. And I think the biggest thing I would tell someone, if I could go back to 15-year-old me at my worst moments, I would just say it's all possible, and like dream bigger and think that it can come faster, because if you are operating within that frequency, it will happen. If all those things are in alignment. It's identity, how you view yourself, how you deeply believe who you are. Mine was I'm special, locked into me when I was young. Belief systems is next. Then your emotions and your actions. Actions are the least important, truthfully. And I genuinely believe this. If your identity, your beliefs, and your emotions are locked in, you create gravity around yourself and truly bring things to you with minimal work. There's plenty of people that work their ass off. They're 60 years old and they have
no
nothing.
money.
They have nothing because they don't believe they're worthy of it. So how is it going to attract into their life? It just won't.
You know what's funny is when I asked you that question, I was expecting like business advice, but I like that answer much better.
Dude, you have to work on the inner world before the outer world is going to show you anything. All this outer world is a mirror of your identity, your thoughts, your belief systems, emotions. That's all it is. It's just a reflection. So if you're inside your own mind believing you're a loser, believing this isn't possible, but you're out working your ass off, it doesn't matter. Like, there's no correlation.
You won't win.
It's a reflection. You're frowning in the mirror and expecting a smile.
Yeah, you won't win.
It just will not happen.
You have to be aligned. You're absolutely right. And obviously, you kind of sorted that one out because you just went from 0 to hundreds of thousands of subscribers on YouTube in
that was crazy.
Like a few months.
Yeah.
Your Instagram is at what? Like
probably 240.
250,000
we got a
followers on
couple
Instagram.
A couple Jordan Bown Instagrams that are at that number.
Doing millions of impressions a month. Millions and millions.
Content's always kind of been my thing from the Twitter days of like being able to understand what content works. I'd say that's my biggest asset.
Yeah, growing literally like one of the most crazy meteoric trajectories I've ever seen from any of my friends in this space.
Nuts, yeah.
So that's like the final third that I want to talk about on this podcast is like,
of course.
Okay, cool. So you had this, crazy upbringing. You figured out e-com first with organic audiences, then with running Facebook ads.
Yep.
You started making a lot of money. You were able to start taking care of your family, your mother, all these people that can now finally depend on you. And now you've become one of the biggest creators in the entire space. You have literally taken the e-com space by storm. So how did you do it? Like, how did you grow this massive personal brand?
There's a lot of key elements. I'd like to touch on all of them because it's kind of like a recipe.
Yeah.
Like if one thing's gone, you're kind of fucked. The biggest thing is documenting. Just document where you're at. Like some of my best videos I've ever created are like my broke to rich storylines of me in my 1996 Chrysler LeBaron shitty ass car that I had to fill up with water just to get to school because the radiator or whatever the fuck's broken. Get to school and the engine's smoking. Like I have all these Snapchat memories. I have all this content that documents my process. So anyone watching right now, even if you don't feel like you're special or you don't feel like you're at a stage that's worth documenting, you are. Because there's always someone behind you. There's always someone that is going to be inspired by exactly where you're at right now. So the biggest thing is document right now. If you're at 0 right now, you're just like me when I was at Red Robin or doing life insurance, start making short form content, showcasing. My goal is 10K a month. I'm going to document the entire process and share with you guys what it looks like. And just be genuine. Like, I think right now we're seeing a big flip in content and what does good with people like Sam Sulek absolutely taking over. And when he's just the realest dude on the planet Earth, he's boring as fuck. Like if you go watch a 40-minute video, you're not sitting there with like your dopamine hits, firing off and absolutely loving it. Like we're seeing a switch where people like that are starting to take over because we're so oversaturated with clickbait thumbnails, Mr. Beast videos, and all these things that are just like endless dopamine hits that I think now is like the perfect opportunity for anyone to literally just be a human being, be genuine, be real, and people are like dying to watch that. So that's the kind of base layer foundation when it comes to content and personal brand. And I will say, I think a personal brand is the most powerful thing you'll ever own in your life.
Not even close. Yeah, not even close.
Oh my God. Like I wouldn't be in this room without a personal brand.
Well, neither would I.
Like it's absolutely everything, bro. It's everything. So start documenting now, being as genuine and real as possible. And then the biggest thing is understanding content distribution. And this is basically the Andrew Tate model. He powered all of his editors and all his content and everything through affiliate offers. You can also build it in-house. You can have friends help you out. But essentially what you would do is take your long-form content on YouTube of you documenting your 0 to 10,000 process, cut up the good clips on short form, post them on TikTok, YouTube Shorts, Instagram Reels, Facebook Reels, and just start expanding. Just start posting content absolutely everywhere. But most importantly, study what content works. Study what does good because there's low-hanging fruit every single day with some new TikTok trend audio that you can put your clips in and get like 20 million views. Like it's genuinely that easy. Like some of my first videos ever on TikTok was my first thing where I ever started posting about myself. I never wanted to do personal brand. I never wanted to do courses. I never wanted to do coaching. I just wanted to make money, be the little like recluse in my office. TikTok was my first thing. And I think it was like my second video ever hit almost 8 million views in like a week. And it was really easy to do that because I'm just hyper vigilant of what's working on the platforms. And there's a huge gap. Like if you just look and understand what's happening now, and you have a content, like you have a Google Drive base filled with all your videos of you documenting, it's pretty easy to mix and mash and put things together and get a video that pops.
You're operating at a higher level than almost anyone in the space, though. You know that, right? Like,
I appreciate it.
you've done this faster than almost anyone else.
Yeah, the time frame's been nuts. And but it's also been long too, because even when Sebastian Georgi was making videos, I was making videos at the same time. Like, I was posting on YouTube, but I just gave up because I was a pussy. I was just stupid.
Dude, and that's
like if I kept posting,
that's something that people need to understand too, right? Like,
yeah,
there are a lot of big creators and YouTubers, all these people that you watch that you think were an overnight success.
Exactly.
But they were not. They were posting YouTube videos 7 years ago.
Yeah.
And they just deleted all their old ones that did
Yeah.
not perform well. This game takes years and years. Okay,
Oh
cool.
my God, years, bro.
So you have your channel pop off overnight, but you've been
Exactly.
studying
I'm
how
the
to
definition
grow.
of like seeming like an overnight
Yes.
success, but it is not.
You've been studying how to grow a brand online for what, 10 years?
I've been posting content for 10 years.
For 10
Not
years.
personal brand stuff, but like studying the landscape.
Right. And it takes time.
So much time, bro.
And it's complicated. And it's not going to be easy. You crawled out of the depths of hell. Literally. One of the craziest stories that I've ever heard.
Multiple times it felt like, man.
Multiple times.
Yeah.
12 years old. Mom broke 47 bones, went
Yeah.
into a coma for months. A few years later, brother almost died.
Yeah, did. And was
Did
came back.
die.
Died right in front of me.
And what did you do? You began developing skills that didn't make you a millionaire at that time. You weren't 15 years old
Yeah.
buying your mom a house
Yeah,
and buying
definitely
cars
not.
for your dad. But those seeds that you planted then, powered
Yeah.
by the hardship that you incurred, powered by the trauma that you went through, are now paying massive dividends.
Oh,
and
it's insane.
now everyone in the space, everyone who watches these videos is going to look at you and be like, oh, Jordan, how'd you do it so fast?
Got lucky.
Oh my God. Like, how did you figure out how to make so much money online? Which, by the way, like, if you don't want to give exact figures, that's okay. But can you give me a ballpark for like how much you're bringing in between personal brand and everything else that you're doing right now per
Right
month?
now, like month?
Yeah, per month.
I think we're really close to $250,000 a month.
Okay.
Profits for the business.
Take
yes.
home. Okay. $250,000 a month. Dropped out of college. Came from one of the craziest background stories I've ever heard. And it's all because you planted seeds.
Yeah.
Have you ever heard the story of the bamboo?
Yeah.
You planted seeds.
Bro, the bamboo is fucking amazing.
Do you want to tell them the story of the bamboo?
No, please go ahead.
Well, we have a mutual friend actually who loves to tell this story.
Yeah.
But the story of the bamboo says that seeds are planted and take 7, 8, 9, maybe even 20 years to grow, to
Extremely long
germinate
time.
underground. Everyone says, oh, where's the bamboo?
fuck's going on?
It's not growing. And then that bamboo sprouts to 10, 20, 30, 100 feet in just a couple of days.
Yep.
And everyone says, oh my God, how did it grow so fast? But those seeds were planted years ago, and money works that way, life works that way, and certainly as we look at your story, it has worked that way. And I understand that you are now teaching not hundreds, not thousands, hundreds of thousands of people.
Over 1 million, I guess, with a YouTube video.
Over 1 million people
Yeah.
how to go on your same journey,
Yep.
right? So where can everybody keep up with you, and how can people learn how to go on this same journey that you've gone on?
So I have a 18-hour free course. It's posted on YouTube, but there's ads there. So if you don't want to be annoyed by the ads every 30 minutes, there's also jordanslibrary.com. And in that course, I do open up a little bit about my personal story, not as much as this. This is the most I've ever talked about that. Yes. So good to lock that in. But the course truly does, like the first module is all about identity, beliefs, emotions, and spiritual shit, and like what books you really need to read to understand that and to create your foundation. Because if you don't offload the weight before you climb, like it just makes no sense. So the first module of the entire course is on spirituality, dopamine detoxes, meditation, vision boards, affirmations. Because truly, if I didn't reprogram myself and create my own identity consciously, like nothing else would have happened. I'd still be trying to drop ship right now with no money. Like, so those are the biggest things, and those are all gone over in the course. And yeah, I mean, it's fucking 18 hours. Like it took me a year to build. 3 months alone of just filming, scripting. It's the hardest thing I've ever gone through. Like the biggest thing I've ever built is that course. So I think a lot of people, I mean, like it's just a YouTube video. You click into it, your brain's scattered. You got static in your brain. You think, oh, this is 18 hours long. That's too long. And a lot of people aren't going to hold value on it. But truly, that's like the coolest thing I've ever created. Like the amount of time and heart and fucking, I mean, it's all my life lessons that are put in there. So like, it's truly an amazing thing. And I think anyone who's given it the time, I think it literally has the power to change your life on the exact same trajectory I went on. Because it's all there. Like everything I've learned is there.
For $0.
For literally free. And we only make money through the affiliate links. Shout out to the Sebastian boys. Definitely took some notes from them.
Yeah,
I think they're downstairs or something. But that's another big thing is like just look at people who are succeeding around you. Like I'm not going to go reinvent the wheel. I'm going to go take the things, the foundations that work, make them my own. That's a big part that I think a lot of people don't fucking do. You have to make things your own because if people don't feel you, if people don't have a genuine connection with you, then that's nothing.
Right.
Because you're the brand, you're the story. So you have to have a story to tell. You have to have a frequency that people can align with, and you have to be real and genuine and raw, or else you're just like some fucking clown online. Like,
yeah.
It's just stupid. It's pointless. So yeah, the course has everything you need. I think the biggest thing people need to do is really just believe in themselves and hold faith and understand that like your dream is going to take 10 times longer than you think. Like back when I had my Twitter account, I'm like, I'm making fucking crazy money. Like I'm going to be at 1 million in a couple months. Like, no, hell no. It takes a long time. And it's like, even if you were rewarded with $1 million a month right now, do you think you have the skill level to wield that?
No.
You fucking don't. It will be gone faster than you can blink your eye. It is gone. So it's like, be grateful for the journey because every phase of your life will be gone forever. Like I'll never be that broke kid again. And it's like, that's some of the best fucking times ever. Like those are memories you're going to cherish forever because if you're a multimillionaire from 25 till you die, dude, you're never going to go back to that experience of the real grind, the real like clawing at life. And it's like, just be grateful, enjoy the journey because you're never going to get that time back again. And have macro patience and micro urgency. I think that's another massive
Beautiful. Key. Patient in the journey, urgent in execution.
Yeah. Move quick, but realize it's going to take a long time.
And it's still going to take a long time.
Very long time.
I think that this is one of the best podcasts I've ever done. Your story is absolutely incredible.
I appreciate that.
I think you dropped a lot of wisdom. Obviously, we could get super granular into how you actually ran up the dropshipping store, but fortunately, you have a 18-hour course for free.
Made a movie.
Yeah, not a movie, bro.
Netflix
You made an
series.
entire TV show and put it in one video. So we'll leave the links down below, man. I truthfully appreciate you coming on the show. What's your @ on all platforms?
It's Jordan Bown on most or Jordan.Bown. But I think we have the little verification stuff. You'll be able to find it.
If you type in JORD, he'll come up.
Yeah.
He has a lot of followers. So, brother, I greatly appreciate you
man.
coming on the show.
Truly.
I appreciate you sharing your story with us. And until next time, guys, peace.